Yeah. Good morning, people of Biafra. Good afternoon, good evening. Depends on where you are. As always, my name is Tony Onaga. Today, this message is actually for the autopiloters. And if you are following me, I'll ask you to give me a little of your attention because we are right at a very critical time of this struggle. I know now. I have to be mixing these up because I want our mothers also to understand. I have to be mixing these with English and with Igbo because I want our mothers to understand. First of all, let me start by saying that it's very, very disgraceful that at this very critical time, most of you who call yourself IPOB members still fail to understand what the game plan of our enemies are. It's very painful indeed. And I must tell you one more, that Onyen Dumazen Namdekan will be highly disappointed on us. How? Because he had been teaching us in his schools. And it's so painful that at this very critical time, we are losing our attention. Before I proceed, I'll ask you if you're joining me to share because I understand that our people have been divided. Our mothers had been deceived simply because of their love for Onyen Dumas and Namdekano. Now, let me start this, but I want more people to join because I want to remind you, Biafrans, of something very, very, very important. So if you're here with me, just share this video. There is a video I want to play for you here. Very important that we all listen, especially you autopiloters. But when you go back to the post I made earlier on in January, you will understand that I said that many people who has been hiding under the canopy of IPOB, while in the actual sense, they are working against this very movement, many of them will go crazy this year. Trust you me. But the only thing you Biafrans need to do to understand or to note them when you know them, because it doesn't matter because many of us be believers and Christians. Okay? And anyị ma na akwụkwọ nsọ si that na ọ bụghị ihe niile na-akpọ nna anyị na-eme ihe nna anyị na-achọ, right? So now, let me take you back to this. I want to remind you of this prophecy given by Joshua Iginla. I want to start from here first. Just give me a bit of time. And if you're with me, share this to the autopiloters because I want our people. Come on, can the mother water? Actually, I'm such a more special in the nanny. Watch, listen.
I was going to drop a few prophecy for today, and then I'm going to throw more light as God lead me before the whole January is over. The agitation for Biafra will wax very strong, and it will go very, very strong. And we need to pray strongly because it will take a dimension that is going to provoke the government of the day to begin to hunt the agitators. And the government of the day need to be very careful so that they will not cause an expensive massacre that is going to dent the image of the day, of the government of the day. The agitation will go stronger and it's going to influence a lot of chances of the people from the eastern part of this country. So
Okay. Do you know why I played that video to you? Most of you who are just joining me, or most of you Biafrans, it's quite unfortunate that we come on social media these days to talk this, but we have to talk it. Someone asked me the other day, why must I continue talking about this? And I said, I must continue talking about it because then it will be very difficult for you. Okay? This prophecy is very clear, and it's not like those that most of those your pastors usually give. Why did I even start from this prophecy? Because I know most of you listening to this, and most of you also believes in real. And how is this prophecy coming to fruition today? It's coming from your master. It's coming from the man whom in your heart of hearts, some of you, not really all of you, believes that he is fighting for Maz. And I want to call you all to remind you something. Now, many of you would think when this prophecy surfaced, many of you would be like, it will be coming from the members or the inner kakus of IPOB. Many of you might not understand because prophecies is more of proverb, it's more of parables. This prophecy is going to you whom has believes in the autopilot. All this while. Like I used to call it Mazen Nnamdi Kanu University of Common Sense, but you don't learn nothing. I'm sorry that I address to you in this way, but this is true. Uno bundi neche na Mazen Nnamdi Kanu kugidogu na Radio Biafra or Nigeria government boy abasia welo referendum. For you can play video first and foremost. And the reason NJ makes this is because one, I want our mothers also to understand what I'm saying. And I want our Biafrans who are not Igbo speaking to also understand. Okay? Now, somebody came with the name of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, and mistakenly so, our leader admitted him into this family. Mistakenly so. I must tell you. And how do I say mistakenly so? I don't want to call anybody's name, but you know the experiment I'm talking about. But I want to assure all of you Biafrans who has now deviated from the struggle and now believes in autopilot to understand one thing, very important, that if you are supporting autopiloting, whichever name you all might prefer to call it, Obasaram, you can call it any nonsense you like. But if you are one of those who is saying that you are on autopilot, I want you to understand one thing. You are part of those that we are prophesied that will sabotage Onyendu. How are you sabotaging him? I'm going to explain to you. Now, many people begin to ask unnecessary questions now in IPOB family. Questions that we are not used to be asked. Questions that we didn't used to hear when our leader was outside. And the reason for this is very common. The reason is because you love our leaders so much. And it's understandably so. Because who has done what Maze has done deserves to be loved. Who has done as much as he has done deserves to be appreciated. But I cannot tell you something. Like I have always been saying, I don't know for freedom. Go and check your history. Browse every internet. Make your researches. You don't fight for freedom with sentiments. Because when you fight for freedom with sentiments, it's just similar to you making a decision when you are happy or making a decision when you're angry. You know, these two things, they don't work. This is what is happening to you. And if you are one of those that says we are now on autopilot, I want you to know something. You are now against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. I am telling you this today, just like the same thing I told you when Sit at Home was announced, and I said Sit at Home was very good, but it's not the best for us because it will be like us stabbing ourselves. Though we understand that it takes the attention, but at the other way, we suffer the more. Now I'm telling you the same thing. You might love it, you might hate it, but the reason why we studied in that University of Common Sense of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu for years, because I joined this struggle from the year 2013, and I understand the missions of Onyendu. How can some of you Biafrans deviate from the task at hand? That's why I'm making this video, and that was why I started from here. Now, that's your love for Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is exactly what somebody is using against you. Because you love our leader so much. Because that love make you think that now a freedom fighter no longer has to go to jail to make his people free. You now forgot that a freedom fighter has 3 places. You now take your decision by yourselves. You now forgot all the instructions this same man has laid down years in the past. You now forgot that between March, April, May, and even June, that our leader has been saying, I am going home. I want to lead the protest. I want to lead the revolution from the forefront. That is why I am calling your attention today. That is why when some of you says, are we not ashamed? We are ashamed. Because I must tell you, if I say that I'm not ashamed to come here and talk about this, I am. Because okay? If your house is burning, you don't go chasing after rats. It doesn't work that way. So, but at the same time, just the same way we used to tell you that you cannot have a restructure in a place where there is no structure. For most of you who has been saying restructure Nigeria, we continue to tell you that you can have structure where there is no structure. Okay? And this is the same place we are still today. So, someone just made you to forget all of the teachings that Onyendu has been giving you all this while. Someone just made you to forget that there are other things that you have been taught, you have been reminded. I want to play to you something again. I want you to listen. Please, just give me your attention. Give me your attention. Because we are on a mission, and I'm not going to stop. So if you're hating this, I'm sorry for you, because I think this is where we are getting it wrong. And you, autopiloter, is one of the reasons why Onyendu is still in detention. Ask me how, and I will tell you. I'll tell you how. How you are one of the reasons that Onyendu is still in detention is this. Because you fail now to go and tackle the things that matter. Now, just and I want you to understand that is where they get through you. Obuni, listen to the message I gave. I'm saying this because onye na-abụrụ onye Igbo ghọta, onye bụkwa onye Igbo aghọta also. Ndị nna anyị na-aghọtachala oyibo ọfụma aghọtakwa because no oyibo abụla asụsụ anyị. That's why I'm putting it this way. Now, you are now asking a couple of nonsense questions which are not important, which do not even need to be asked. So who betrayed our leader? Who did this? But I want to show you something. Our leader knows that a day like this will come. Our leaders I don't care. Somebody said this is why you don't have views. I don't care about views. I don't care. I care about the message I give to you. What are you here for? I want to tell you, I don't really like to be interrupted. Let me see if I can hide your comment because I don't care about what you say. I want to keep telling you the truth so that when the time comes that our leader is true, is free, you all will not come back here to apologize to me. But I'm sure today someone has used his on I don't know what to call him. That is nonsense video he's using on you. He's using your love against you. And I don't care about your view. I don't care about even your follow. I care about propagating this gospel the same way our leader has laid it down. They understand that the first way and the most prominent, or should I say the best way they can destabilize IPOB begin in stop away from the IPOB. First and foremost. And now they are changing their name. They have so many names this time. But there is one place they mainly get to you all. One place, and I will show you. One place. That very place is because you thought that our leader was betrayed. You thought that our leader never knew that he would come back home. Why knowing fully well that our leader has laid it down towards that he is coming to lead this. And now I want you to watch this. And then when you watch this video I'm about to play to you, when you watch this video I'm about to play to you right now, then you tell me what you think. I want you to understand this. Now, hold on, just hold on a bit. Listen to this Mazen Namdekano's video. I already posted it here on this page. I want you to listen again. So you will understand that our leader knows very, very well that a day like this will come. But it's only you that just joined a few months ago or a few years ago do not understand, or mainly because you have not been a true and intelligent student of this kingdom. Just hold on. Hold on a bit.
Because as we well know, ICS is now in Niger State. Very soon they'll be in Kogi, and then from Kogi they'll come into Anambra, and the real war will begin. Remember, very many years ago, I told you one very critical point for you to bear in mind as what I'm saying, basically to guide you in all your delivery. At the end of this very race, Biafra is going to emerge. It doesn't matter what anybody does. And to our African friends and brethren, I want them to also understand this. We talk about Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism cannot take off without Biafra, because we do need a genuinely free country in Africa to be able to drive that very critical and important initiative. We are seeking to build a country that God Almighty in heaven will be very proud of. And though the Janjaweed, the Fulani Caliphate, have sent their armies of conquest into our land, that this very day, we don't even know if those who are killing us are doing so on behalf of the Nigerian state or they're doing it on behalf of the Islamic Caliphate. Because as we well know, ICS is now in Niger State. Very soon they'll be in Kogi, and then from Kogi they'll come into Anambra, and the real war will begin. Remember, very many years ago, I told you one very critical point for you to bear in mind as what I'm saying, basically to guide you in all your deliberations and your thinking about Biafra. They're going to kill us. That is true. But that is not going to stop Biafra from coming. We are going to do all we can to defend our land and to defend our people. The whole world may appear to be against us, but we have done nothing wrong. That is the most frightening thing about this whole thing. If you ask the world, what did Biafra do wrong to you? Nobody can tell. Nobody can actually explain to you properly. Because they want a world where very illiterate nomadic set of people will be in charge of governance, where you have refineries and they're no longer working, where you produce oil and gas but still import kerosene and fuel for your cars, where they want to impoverish the people. For those who may not be acquainted, or should I say familiar with the book that one of our very good friends wrote in years gone by, Walter Rodney. He was at Dar es Salaam University where he was assassinated by the CIA very many years ago. Walter Rodney wrote a very compelling book called How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. What we are witnessing today is precisely what he was trying to explain to us. If you allow yourselves to be taken over by greed, by self-preservation and the trappings that you find in North America and in Europe and in Far East Asia, you will never ever develop your land. We are fighting for Biafra that we may restore our lost dignity. We are fighting for Biafra that Black people all over the world may be set free at last. We are fighting for Biafra not that we may have or commence the building of a large empire, not at all. We are asking for a Biafra where we can live and die with a semblance of dignity. Because right now people are dying, but there isn't any dignity. We must stand very tall and very strong, resist our enemies. That thing that we are thinking now that is impossible to accomplish very soon, you will say it. We must remain resilient. We must remain devoted. We must remain unflappable. We are not going to retreat, not one iota. If at the end of this race there is only one Biafran man and one Biafran woman left, may they continue to expand. They killed us, 5 million of us, after the war. After the war in 1970, we had lost 5 million people. But there we are still the largest ethnic bloc anywhere in the entire Nigeria, because God is faithful. And at this very critical time, this very Elohim that we worship is not going to abandon us. I'm not saying we're going to fold our hands in prayer and fasting alone. No, we are going to do what we have to do. An attempt has been made in the past to exterminate us. The British supported the killing.
Did you hear? Did you hear what he said? I want you to listen very carefully to what he said here, because most of you, I'm sorry, most of you don't understand Maz. I'm sorry to tell you this, but this is true. I want you to listen carefully to what he said. He said, we're not going to fold our hands, which means, don't you think like he was always talking on Radio Biafra, then it ends there? No, it means he's going to do something. He's coming to defend our people. And at the end, listen very carefully, because many times, many people still watch this, listen to this, and even follow him on his teachings, like I used to say, but they still do not understand nothing. And that's why somebody came through you just so fast, and you fell to this. Listen very carefully, and so you can understand, you can acquire little common sense.
Biafra, where we can live and die with a semblance of dignity. Because right now people are dying, but there isn't any dignity. We must stand very tall and very strong, resist our enemies. That thing that we are thinking now that is impossible to accomplish very soon, you will say it. We must remain resilient. We must remain devoted. We must remain unflappable. We are not going to retreat, not one iota. If at the end of this race there is only one Biafran man and one Biafran woman left, may they continue to expand. They killed us, 5 million of us after the war.
Did you hear what he said? If at the end of this very race, if it's only one Biafran man and Biafran woman is remaining, let them continue. Listen very well, listen. I want you to understand. Many of you don't understand this man.
Fighting for Biafra, not that we may have or commence the building of a large empire, not at all. We are asking for a Biafra where we can live and die with a semblance of dignity. Because right now people are dying, but there isn't any dignity. We must stand very tall and very strong, resist our enemies. That thing that we are thinking now that is impossible to accomplish very soon, you will say it. We must remain resilient. We must remain devoted. We must remain unflappable. We are not going to retreat, not one iota. If at the end of this race there is only one Biafran man and one Biafran woman left, may they continue to expand. They killed us, 5 million of us.
Let me stop it for the meantime here first. Let me stop it here. To most of you who do not understand this man, for most of you who follow this man but you fail to have simple comprehensions of his mission, this is what he just said to you. If at the end of this very race there is only two Biafran man and woman left, may they continue to expand. What does that mean? What does that mean to all of you? I want to ask, what does that mean? This simply means he's going to confront our enemies. And obviously, I'm going to play to you another place where he said he's going to confront the Fulani mayhem in our land. And also, there is a place as well, because if most of you has been following this mission, like I have been saying, properly, I'm not just coming on social media to listen to the thunderous voice of our leader and give him kudos or write comments, no. But coming on social media, follow his teachings and acquire simple comprehension of his teachings, you will understand. And now for you who might get it wrong, I don't care you get it wrong. I care more that I'm doing the work that I'm supposed to do as divinely mandated, because Biafran struggle, Biafran movement, it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about the spirituality which controls this. And this year, Many of those who had been hiding under IPOB, but they are working to destroy or to deter this very movement. They will get disgraced this year. And all of you will see it. The ways to follow. And now you are diverting. When Onyendo was out, did you used to ask them where the money you contribute used to go? You know, you didn't do that. So just because Nonoria and somebody now said, hey, oh, so person set him up and you bought the idea. But this man has just said he is going to do everything he's going to do to defend our people, to defend our race. And if at the end there is only 2 Biafran men and women, may they continue. This means he is not going to fold his hand and wait. And how are you going to confront them? How is he going to lead the revolution, which he had told us many times in the past during his previous broadcast in 2021? That he is going there to lead the struggle. He said this several. How do you think he can lead it? How do you think he can fly to Nigeria after declaring to the international communities that his life was threatened in Nigeria? Do you think that he would just go down to Nigeria one day, cut flight ticket, and go down to Mauritania Mohammed Airport? Or they are possible? Or they are possible? There are procedures to law. There are procedures that governs the international community. He is going back home with a plan. Because you understand that once he sets Nigerian government up, that they would like to arrest him. And that was the plan. And this is where someone is getting you down. This is the only thing this man asked for you. 2 things. To remain resolute, to remain determined, and don't let anybody deter you. But today, you all has lost that very focus. Because a house that is shattered can't hold. Just now, listen, like I told you earlier on this program now, I said, if you are an autopiloter first, you have to know that you should choose. You can't be an autopiloter and still be an IPOB member. I know this might not go down with many of you, but I don't care. I care more about telling you the truth so that when the time comes, I will still come down on this very same platform and tell you that I have been vindicated. You might hate it because Nigeria this movement. They use somebody the well accustomed to you. And this mistake was caused by our leader. I will not blame him now because he's down. He will be out and I'll make the video public. He caused the mistake by taking somebody you never even confirmed his fidelity. That is where our leader made a mistake. And this mistake is costing IPOB a huge lot. A huge lot. It's costing us today. Now, if you're an IPOB member, you cannot be IPOB and be autopilot. It's not possible. It can't work. You can curse me, you can abuse me, you can say anything you like. There is no problem with me, but all the it's abominable. Very, very abominable. And it's even much more absurd to say that most of you get to go this University of the kind of common sense would now at this very point be distracted. It's painful and it's shameful and it's way, way disgusting because Onyendoi will never be happy with us once you come back. All of you see that you have deviated yourself from the struggle laid down by the same man you claim you call his name. You will be disappointed and you'll be disgraced. That's why I'm calling on you, those of you that were deceived because of your love for Mazin and the canon that Namada be a second. Konya betray. There is no any excuse for this same Mazin and the canon. No, can you just why? No, why? Go see I picture the why. I have no picture why. None the betray. And what Bonya Nakobafa no betray. Can see evidence like now how the civilized world works. Even here in Italy, where I live, Imam Putana police say an Amadu Zugoli. Or no, it doesn't work that way. It's here an Amadu Zugoli. You can see evidence. You have to bring evidence. But there was no proof to all these things. Now, the same person, they kind of disciple and be deceiving you. But in the actual sense, you are now work to destabilize this very movement. Because they understand that the best way to destabilize us is the funding. Okay? Now, the next plan and the agenda is to hijack the Eastern Security Network. Because how are they going to hijack it? I must tell you. So that when you are contributing, you don't say, I never knew. But say you were told, but you never believed it was real. You can hate me, You can say any sort of things you might like, no problem. But it's not my fault that I can see something some of you might not observe. Because I'm on that now. Every true IPOB member understands very, very well the game. The game first is to distract you, to divide you, and to rule you. The same thing Onion Dokuzi go many, many times. And now, let me ask you, who believes that the same man who has been telling you, if you don't sit at home, DOS has compromised? Now, let me ask you a question. You are Mazen Namdekano's disciple, right? Our people used to say, you don't mock a man when he is down, right? That's what it said in English. Ndị be anyị na-asị that na ada aṅụ nwoke mgbe ọ nọ naanị ị ga-eche ka odogwu binite si kpọ ya si ya nna ndị itinye n'isi ndị itinye n'ebe a nna ifukwa ife ndị a mee ka ị na-anụrụ ya nna ịmakwa ihe ndị a mee iwe nụ ife odogwu ga-ekwu mana ọ bụrụ na ọ na ịnụ na odogwu da ozugbo odogwu na-ada ibido isi na ife odogwu ji daa bụ na ọ jee chụ nwaanyị na kafanchan isi na ife odogwu ji wee daa bụ na ọ jee ijekwu nwunye mmadụ isi na ife odogwu ji wee daa bụ maka nke a, then there is something wrong with you. You deserve enyo enyo gị enyo wele anya na-abụ nye oge because something is wrong somewhere with you. Now, all of you saw this the video making trend on social media these few days, right? Of Asari Dokubo, where he is asking the Igbo people, he was asking the Igbo people to kill IPOB members, which stupidly so, because you're asking Igbo man to kill him brother. Or does it really mean he's so ignorant of the word IPOB? Because IPOB simply means indigenous people of Biafra, which I myself is a part of. So, if there was maybe I was some of my brother who didn't register, because it doesn't really matter if you're registered or if you're not registered. I don't care. What matters more is that you are a born indigenous of Biafra, and that makes you automatically an IPOB. Which Asari Dokubo was saying that Igbo people should kill them, that they are worse than everything, that they are worse than this, that they are worse than that. Okay? Now, let me ask you, autopiloter, you that has been scammed by this autopiloter. Now, why this topic is very important, because that is the reason why our leader is still in detention. That same autopiloting is the reason why Kano is still there in detention, because they understand that now that this man has succeeded in dividing us, that we will no longer do our things the way we used to do. And now what they'll be doing is delaying our leader. So they'll be delaying our leader. Why? And why they are delaying our leader, your autopiloter continues to deceive you, tell you this. But I want to ask you a question. You that believes that from autopiloting, like he has been propagating falsehood to you, that from autopiloting, you will release our leader. I want to ask you a question. If you are a disciple of Kano, like some of you believe, would you ever ask Asari Dokubo to consider you a different person? Or have you all forgotten what our leader told us earlier last year, 2021, concerning Asari Dokubo? Many of you forget so soon, I understand, but we are here to remind you. Only thing you should do is watch and listen without biasity. Because you can look at me, you think this man doesn't know what he's saying, but this man knows what he's saying more than who is deceiving you. But obviously he packages his lies in a way that you believe. And I want to tell you, if you all are waiting that February 16 that our leader could be released, you have to rethink. Our leader cannot be released when you are autopiloting or autohaloting. I don't know what to call you even. You autopiloters are the reason why we're still here. The only reason they want to champion this, to tell you that DRS are not doing well, because they understand one thing. Like I told you, first and foremost plan of them is they sat down on the table and as they said, well, how are we going to destabilize this very family? And now they have come to a conclusion that we can destabilize this family by dividing them. And by dividing them, they will no longer receive funds, because when we no longer have funds, we'll be almost half dead, right? That is what is happening. Now that they are telling you DRS no longer do well, these people no longer do well. If there are some of you who contributes to IPOB or for Eastern Security Network, the answer is you are not going to contribute again. That is what it means. Because you'll be now skeptic about where your money is going, about how your money is being used, about the people, even the fidelity of the people you're donating to. These three things will make you and weaken your mind and will get you not to donate again. And when the Eastern Security Network, who are in our forest defending our farmlands against the invaders, when they do no longer feed because they lack source, they lack funds, when they do no longer do anything, I ask you, how do you think that very Eastern Security Network wouldn't be hijacked? And that is their plan. That same person who is championing the autopiloting wants you to be raising funds through him for Eastern Security Network. So that when you raise the funds through him, he will now, if at all, and because I doubt, I am completely in skeptic that he will give, because he don't have access to Eastern Security Network, but we want to wait. When we lose funding the Eastern Security Network, now he will say there are people who raise funds. We want to give it to the ESN. And because this is their next agenda, to hijack that very army of God, which is the ESN. So if you are an autopiloter, ask yourself more questions. Don't watch and don't listen with biasity, like I said. Don't listen with your wicked heart. Don't listen with your distracted heart, because I want you to learn few things. And I will continue on this gospel here. This same gospel, because that is where they got us. And we must have to continue to make sure we tell you the accurate things that is important and that is needed. And then it's up to you to choose if you want to abide to them or if you don't. Now, you all know what Asari Dokubo said about Biafra and the IPOB and Igbo people. Now, this is what your autopiloter told you to do, told Asari Dokubo. But before I play this video for you, I want to remind you that our leader already told us in January last year, between him and Asari Dokubo. Do any of you remember this? About what our leader said last year concerning him and Asari Dokubo, which he asked us to regard and disregard Asari Dokubo and everything, right? Now, the same Asari Dokubo came this year after he realized that our leader is down in detention to get us Biafra, because that is the place that he will get us Biafra from. He can't get us Biafra on Radio Biafra, not at all. He will only come on Radio Biafra to propagate the gospel, to let the world understand, and also to resensitize and sanitize your brains. So, our leader told us last year everything concerning him and Asari Dokubo, and told us reasons why Asari Dokubo shouldn't be trusted. But today, your autopilot campaigner is begging, pleading, asking Asari Dokubo to never consider him a part of IPOB or part of his problem. Now, let's watch this. Watch this. I know some of you will not love it, but watch this. Watch your autopiloter.
So, as Asari Dokubo, the only thing I'm telling you, I'm not come here to attack you. I have not come here to blackmail you, because I will not blackmail anybody that have done nothing to me. I will not blackmail you. Your anger, I understand it, because it is happening to me. So the same way I am feeling is the same way you are feeling. So I have not come here to attack Asari Dokubo. Tell Asari Dokubo the first time in the history of this struggle that I have come and addressed his concern, and I did not attack him.
Oh, the first time. Listen, many of you don't know understand this criminal. Many of you don't understand this criminal. He said the first time in his history, his own rubbish history, that he had come and addressed Asari Dogba and he didn't attack him. So all the while you had been attacking him, until now you no longer attack him. Just go ahead, keep watching, keep watching. Hold on, I'm coming.
You, I'm not come here to attack you. I have not come here to blackmail you, because I will not blackmail anybody that have done nothing to me. I will not blackmail you. Your anger, I understand it, because it is happening to me. So the same way I am feeling is the same way you are feeling. So I have not come here to attack Asari Dokubo. Tell Asari Dokubo the first time in the history of this struggle that I have come and addressed his concern and I did not attack him. And let him not attack autopilot. Tell him that autopilot are not the one that attacking him. Tell him that any day he want to address these people, he should address them properly, address them like illiterate IPOB DOS criminals and their errand. Autopilot are different people.
Do you hear that? Did you hear that? You autopilot. Did you just hear that? Autopilot are different people. Did you hear that? Useless IPOB. Now IPOB is useless. This is the same man that calls by the name of this is the same man that, according to him, is Mazen Namdekano disciple, right? He's a disciple of Kano. And now IPOB is useless and foolish and evil. So, does it really mean that some of you Biafrans don't reason? Does it really mean that some of you Biafrans cannot just think? I want somebody to explain. Maybe one of you will call. I know some of you don't like this thing I'm saying today, but I will be saying it and I will keep saying it because I'm a near back. I'm nearly Siaba no Piwago. You can't tell me what I know. The only person guys subscribe to that nonsensical autopilotism is who just joined IPOB recently. That is the only person. That is the only person that can subscribe to that nonsense. Now you heard what he said. He said criminal. IPOB. God just explained because he has been using the name of DOS all the while. And why he had been using DOS is to not make you understand where he was going. That was why he continued to talk about only DOS. He never called IPOB until you hear. He made mistake. He never knew when he mentioned IPOB. I swear to God. And if you can get him, if you are closer to him, if you're one of his collaborators, like all of those idiots that he recruited on social media to deceive you, you will be sincere that he never knew when IPOB entered his mouth. His plan was to always use that word DOS to make you believe that it's DOS that betrayed Mars. You understand me? Just to make you to believe that it was DOS that betrayed Mars and to make you not understand what his plans are. Should I still show you what David Iginla prophesied, which all of us saw before the time? Hold on, let me bring your some of your boss, because it's not all of you. I know we still have intelligent Biafrans left. I understand that. Please listen again to your autopilot, to the pilot of your autopilot. I don't know how to call him. Unfortunately, some of you don't understand this. He is begging Asari Dokubo. You all don't understand where this man is going. All of these people has teamed up against IPOB. But I can assure you something. That if you're a true Biafran and a true follower of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, the greatest love you will show him is to abide to what he has given to you. Do you hear me? If you are a member or a follower of this mission, and now somebody is twisting this story for you, ask yourself a question. If this man is a disciple of Kanu, like I am, it's not by saying it with mouth. Would you ever associate yourself with Asari Dokubo, whose Mazen Nnamdi Kanu has told us he made to him? Mazi Gwayan last year that Asari took 20 million from him and never did what they has agreed for, right? Or some of you have forgotten, but I'm here to remind you. Mazi has told us to disregard Asari Dokubo completely. We don't do criminality, but some of you don't understand. Mazi Gwayan last year that we should cut off anything with Asari, and now this man is pleading with him that he wants him. He wants to work with him, and you don't understand where he is going. You now believe that the DOS has compromised, even knowing fully well that our leader instruction on the 21st of May. Listen, so maybe I should play the video again because maybe you now forgot. Our leader instructions and told us that at the very end of this race, if it is only two Biafran, a man and a woman, may they continue to burn and multiply. Why? Because he knows he's going to lead the revolution against this catastrophic Fulani government. That is the reason. And how do you imagine that someone as intelligent as Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you know Mazen Nnamdi Kanu studied Biafran War, history of Biafran War for 18 good years. And that's why he can't fail. So if you are thinking that Mazi is in Nigeria by mistake, I am telling you to reset your brains and reset the functionality of your memories. Because you are mistaken. And that is where this person is taking a role in you. And if you are funding Eastern Security Network aside the account, there is one funny thing I saw the other day. I saw a member who was expelled from the family by IPOB, who was alongside those organizing a fund for Eastern Security Network with your master, Simon Ekberima. And I asked a question. When have we got to this place? I ask myself a question. When has our people become such stupid? I ask myself a question. When has our people become such gullible? I want to tell you, Biafran, this night that if you are funding Eastern Security Network from unverified source, you are funding the division of IPOB, and you are funding the continuous detention of our leader, because you are dividing his house. Because if not, if you don't ask yourself a question, you are Mazi disciple, right? Now, you think the DOS are not doing the right thing. Let us go with your nonsense logic. Maybe it's true. Okay, let's go. Why don't you do that which you think is good and just say to yourself, fuck DOS, I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to focus on them. This is how I'm going to contribute as a disciple. If you're a disciple, you live in Finland. How many protests has you led? You are claiming you're a politician in Finland. You make posters, fake posters, and paste on the streets. Now, I'll ask you a question. Why don't you use the same your political power, or should I say your political level or whatever, to propagate the gospel of Biafra? At least that means if people can campaign for you, according to you, you said you posted a video in a while that you were passing on the street and the people were campaigning this, that. Why don't you use the same advantage to host a protest in Helsinki where you live in Finland? Why don't you? How many protests has you led in the past with Biafrans or for Biafra? None. How many agitations have you led? How many times have you been arrested for the sake of Biafra? Have you ever fled your country because of Biafra? You all don't ask this question. You all only look the things that you are presented on social media. And this is where you are contributing in keeping mass in detention today. But you don't know. That's why we are calling you today to not say, Amakwam, echekwam no na-ekwu eziokwu. Chetakwa no onye na-agwa gị today, but you ignored him because you want me to speak things that you will love, so you will follow me. I don't need that. I don't need that nonsense. Because I'm not fighting for this Biafra for money. I'm not fighting this for anything. I'm fighting it so that my next generation can be free. And for that sake, I don't care to say the things that will please you. I prefer to say the things that are true, the way it is. Whether it pleases you or it doesn't. You are destabilizing this very movement. And mind you, listen to what he said, that autopilot is different from IPOB. I love that word. That very word vindicates everything I've been waiting him to say for many times ago. For the past 4 months, I've been waiting to hear that particular word. So that you, nonsense he called it, should know that you are completely different from this family. Don't tell us you're IPOB and you're autopilot because it doesn't work. Listen very well. Listen carefully. Very, very well. I want you to understand more that autopilot has got is completely different. Completely different, huh? And that is where we got wrong today. Like this, sorry.
That attacking
this man
him,
is
tell him
very,
that
very,
any day
very.
he want to address these people, he should address them properly. Address them like illiterate, IPOB, DOS criminals, and they are errant. Autopilot tell you because I will not blackmail anybody that have done nothing to me. I will not blackmail you. Your anger, I understand.
Do you just see how complicating your master is? Wait, I want you to understand something. I want you to understand what he's just saying. So you understand. Please just wait a bit. Just hold on. You will see, I want you to see how complicating your master is, so you can understand. In the first, he said that he doesn't attack who has done nothing to him. And next he said, for the first time in the history, that he's coming to address Asari Dokbo without attacking him. The same thing him said this, which means he had been attacking him in the past. So eventually, someone that had been doing things against you in the past eventually didn't do nothing against you. Now, go ahead with the things he said. Listen very well.
Done nothing to me. Anger, I understand it because it is happening. So the same way I am feeling is the same way you are feeling. So I have not come here to attack Asariduku. I have not come here to blackmail you because I will not blackmail anybody that have done nothing to me. I will not blackmail you. Your anger, I understand it because it is happening to me. So the same way I am feeling is the same way you are feeling. So I have not come here to attack Asaridukubo. Tell Asaridukubo the first time in the history of this struggle that I have come and addressed his concern and I did not attack him. And let him not attack autopilot. Tell him that autopilot
First time that he has come and he didn't attack Asari Dokubo. He's so complicating. So complicating. But to for the name on that, what are the guy? Okay, can swallow ni an Igbo from Makambo for Igbo and Yan so a little Macabala as why I even Igbo, of course. Okay, now also for the first time, Obia Niku Makasari, come one the mine, Makaman on our woman the mine, and no Akachampa. The man Yoji what a child be habo, love hangway for can. Now, what's no first time on a be maka asari dokubo? On a kula jife basale. Because the reason, not the reason, no kula jife. Niade ukwa jife basalo in anybody for me. Manogis were not first time in your history in an attack. That means in the past, in an attack, in a banyali or gobun abi. Now, eventually, after Kosi Chagi, Ndi Igbo Pani, for only open up IPOB member, Sibwe. Where's anything against him? Where's he for Meggy? Keduki Ige Sibu disciple of Nnamdi Kanu. Then, Mada Apota, onye Boni Lokanu, Bidogo with na Asari Nakanu Adho in terms. Onye Nduanye Kowala, everything last year, right? Or webta a day na his broadcast, Mabuni Bundine so, Onye Ndumbo, program here teaches every Wednesday and Sunday. Okay? Now, our leader brought out about 30 minutes, if you could remember, I think, if I'm not mistaken, between, I'm not very sure about the date, but this was between, I think September 2020 or so, or thereabout. Our leader brought about 30 minutes of his time on his teachings to tell us everything that happened and transpired between him and Asari Dokubo. Now, he told us to forget anything Asari Dokubo could say or would do or anything. And then, the same Asari Dokubo, after Konyan Duai went so, because of course, not G with a live Biafra, many of you fail to understand the mission Onyendu is in. And that's why you are panicking. That's why you are mistaken. That's why you're letting someone use your love for him against you. So, after our leader has gone to bring us Biafra, because from there he'll bring us Biafra, not on radio Biafra like I will keep saying. As the same Asari Dokubo that our leader has told us as a family to deviate ourselves from anything that concerns him. Come on air. He incited homicide. This is not even genocide. This is homicide. Because killing your brother is a kind, it's almost murder. That is what he was inciting to the Biafran people by asking Ndibo to kill IPOB member, knowing fully well that IPOB means Biafran people. That means he's asking you to kill yourself. That means he's asking you to fight one another. And that is what he means. And immediately the campaigner, the worker of Satan, the agent of this neo-colonist, heard that he wants to collaborate the more with them. Because his duty is to destabilize and distract us. And that's why we are correcting it. I hope we can stop giving them a chance. But if we don't talk, they continue deceiving you and feeding you with lies. And I will prefer to tell you this painful truth so that if Onyendu comes out, I'll be vindicated. Most of you don't ask yourselves the question. The question is very simple. You are a disciple. And your master, because you call the name of man as a kind of fine, your master has told you to deviate yourself from anything that has to do with somebody because of certain reasons he gives to you, which are justified and vindicated as well. And then, when that your master, maybe, let me use the example of he travels, when your master now travels, the next thing you did was to call that enemy of your master now started to say, your master is an idiot, your master is a killer, your master should be jailed. And you fail to see nothing wrong with that. Do you know that Asari Dokubo at a point in time said that if our leader is coming out from the DSS, he should be killed by Igbo people? Do you forget? And now the disciple of Kanu did not see anything wrong with all those things, but pleading with him to tender justice with mercy, to never count him amongst the IPOB, to count him as autopiloter, and you don't understand this. And some of you Biafrans are so dumb and so stupid to understand this. Some of you are so illiterate to understand the simple strategy this man is using. Why are some of you such ignorance? But you go to Radio Biafra every time during the period our leader was free. You listen to preachings, you listen to his teachings, and you do not understand simple thing. And when we tell you, you call us that we have been paid by the DOS. And I want to ask you, me that is talking, some of you, not all of you, I have better life than some of you. The reason why we are talking and talking and talking is because we want our people, our next generation, to not go and continue dying in the Mediterranean Ocean. That is the main reason. Not because I'm hoping to benefit something from this, because we understand how the international community sees us. Telling or identifying yourself as a Nigerian is a disgrace to humanity, disgrace to yourself, and a crime to the people of the world. You can imagine that just because you're a Nigerian, you apply for a work, you can't get it because you're a Nigerian. And that is where we get it wrong. And when this man, this Prophet Joshua Iginla was prophesying that IPOB will wax very stronger, which I foreplayed earlier on this broadcast, the prophecy he gave in 2020, Prophet Joshua Iginla, where he said that our struggle will wax so stronger that the Nigerian government will plan and try everything to destabilize us. And now that they will use the followers. That is where this man is trying to put you. To now think, those prophecy, he mean the DOS. No. Followers, he means, doesn't really mean the most inner caucus. Because I said earlier on that this whole mistake was caused by our leader. But I don't want to say it now that our leader is in detention until he is out. But I'm sure he will learn from this. You don't have to introduce to our freedom movement, which you have sacrificed a lot, a person you never verified his fidelity. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. And that is where we got it wrong. By believing that this man is true just because he called the name of Biafra, and today he is the reason why. And trust you me. Don't be surprised. Me, I will not. Maybe you will be. When our leader will be out and tell you that this man you are following today that is autopiloting you, and you that comes to school, most of you are graduates, most of you even have PhDs in Oxford universities, because I know Biafran, we have people around the world. But unfortunately, you have PhD, but you don't have common sense. But I'm sure that most of you as well are being override by your love. But our leader knows he will be in detention today for us to be free. Nelson Mandela spent 25 years, and when he was in prison, his good movement were never destabilized. Now, why are you questioning nonsenses? You see our legal team making advances. Now a new son has joined the legal council. You see everything is working. Most of you started to ask, where is the money you are donating going? And I ask you, do you know how much we pay our legal teams around the world? Only legal team. We don't talk about other things, other fronts we're doing. And this is where somebody got into you. But put this through to you, because this is where I'm going to end this. But I want to remind you this before I close. I want to play this video for you once again. It was one of the first video. I already played this here. I want you all to listen to this with simple comprehension. That's what we call common sense. Put your common sense and listen to this very thing Mazen Namdekano himself said here. Put common sense, I said, so you can understand. Now hold on a bit. So you will know that this man can understand where he was going. It was never by accident that he's dead. It was never. Don't let anybody tell you that Kanu was betrayed. Nobody betrayed him, and nobody could betray him. Not at all. Because it's on a divine mission. Listen again. I'm sorry that I'm playing this.
After the war. After the war in 1970, we had lost 5 million people.
Yes.
But then we are still the largest ethnic bloc anywhere in the entire Nigeria.
Sure. Because
God is faithful. And at this very critical time, this very Elohim that we worship is not going to abandon us. I'm not saying we're going to fold our hands in prayer and fasting alone. No.
He is not saying that we are going to fold our hands in prayer and fasting alone. He said this on the 21st day of May. 21st day of May 2021. And where was he abducted? Before 28th day of June, right? He said this. He said he has already declared the 150 days fasting and prayer before he said this. And this is our address he made to Biafran public. Okay? He said he is not saying that we are only going to fast and pray. We are going to confront our enemies. And how are we going to confront our enemies? Is it on Radio Biafra? The answer is no. That man that is leading you, is he going to go and confront our enemies for us? The answer is no. And how is he going to confront our enemies? Why are most of you coming to the school to learn from Mazi, but you don't learn nothing? And somebody use it and capitalize on it. Listen more. I want you to continue to listen to what he said. Because if you're thinking that it was by mistake that Mazi is in Nigeria, you are completely, do not deserve to be a member of this IPOB family. Only thing you have to do is to pray for him, put the work that you need to do, which is protest, so that the international community will know what is happening, and then fund the body of IPOB so that our legal teams will be well paid, so that the ESN will be well funded, so that the ESN will not lack anything, because these are people that should defend us. Once they are hijacked, we are gone as a people and as a race. It doesn't matter how they propagate this falsehood to you. Listen, so if you think Kano went to Nigeria by somebody setting him up, you are mistaken. Kano set Nigeria government up, but you don't know. You all don't understand this. Listen very well.
Going to do what we have to do to ensure the survival of our race.
We are going to do what we have to do to ensure the survival of our race. What does he have to do? What does he have to do to ensure the survival of our race? What he has to do to ensure the survival of our race is to confront those that are killing our people. That is all he has to do. That is all he has to do. Only thing that our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to do to confront or to ensure the survival of our race is to confront those that are killing us. And that is why he has gone home. And that is why he has gone to confront them. So if you are thinking that somebody set him up, that's why he's in Nigeria, you are completely an ignorant student. I'm sorry to tell you this, but this is true. I'm here to tell you that if you think somebody set Kanu up, you are as stupid as fuck. Sorry for that language, but this is true. Because this man is on a divine mission. It doesn't matter. Most of you don't really understand the spirituality that Biafra has got. Most of you don't understand. Because most of you read Bible, but unfortunately, you lack the simple comprehension of the words you read in the Bible. When you read about what happened between the days of the Israelites, that is the same person you are. Most of you believe that Christ is coming again. And most of you whom believes that Christ is coming again do not even believe in Messiah, who is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It doesn't matter how you see it. And this is where you are getting it wrong. Just like what happened during the time of Jesus Christ. You remember he said to his disciples, I am going. For if I do not go, the comforter will not come. But I am going to send you a comforter. And only thing that you have to do when I'm gone is to continue propagating this gospel just the same way I have told you all. And that was exactly mission. But unfortunately, most of you are thinking that maybe one day Christ will descend from above. Or obviously the word descend from above confuses us. Above means where you don't know. That is what above means. And when you as a believer, as a Christian, as a Biafran, or mainly Igbo Biafrans, let me use the Igbo Biafran mainly, but I believe all Biafrans are descendants of God. I believe that. I will make a thorough research of that and I will confirm that soon. But let me use the Igbo Biafrans, which I understand they are basically Jews. Now, if you are an Igbo man, Igbo na Igbo onye Igbo, can swear an Igbo. Ka ọkwa anyị ghọta. Ọ bụrụ na ị bụ onye Igbo, ị na-aga n'ụlọ ụka, ị na-ekpe ekpere, ị na-agụ Baịbụl, ị na-esi ife ndị pastor na-preach gị gbasara ụka, gbasara Jesus na everything. Ị na-ekweta na Jesus Christ ka ya abịakwa ọzọ. And ị bụ onye Igbo, but ị mara na Jesus Christ not there already with you. Now that DSS prison. Unfortunately, you need to rethink. Because let me tell you one thing is you have to understand. In our good same Bible, now we're lost tribe of Israel. The lost tribe of Israel. Who is the lost tribe of Israel? That is you. And how are you the lost tribe of Israel? Because the man who is Israel, which is Jacob, right? has 12 sons, 12 tribes, which made up the Israel, which Gad is one of them. Gad is the fifth son of Jacob. Okay? And Gad is the father of Eri. If you are Igbo, Obon Igbo, Igbo, Malon Todan, Mal history Igbo, Namuta Igbo, Eri. That is the seventh son of Gad. And Gad is the fifth son of Jacob. Go and read your Genesis. I think Genesis 2 or 15. I think Genesis 2:15. I'm not very accurate, but it's in Genesis. Go and make a research there. You will see this thing I'm telling you. But most of you read this, but maybe because the name we are twisted by the neo-colonists that interpreted Bible in English for us, and you don't understand. So I know most of you will say, you're saying that Kanu is Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's Messiah to us. He is. And that is the second coming you have been waiting for. But you don't know. You don't really know because you don't know whom you are, and that's why. But you remember, even till today, some of the Jews still don't believe that Jesus is come. That is the same thing happening to you today. The same thing, exactly the same thing. Because some Jews, maybe because of certain comportments or actions of Jesus, many of the Jews feel, don't tell me this is Jesus Christ, this is the Messiah. Because some of you think Jesus doesn't insult people. He insulted a lot of people. If you're stupid, he tells you you're stupid. That is him. And that is the same thing with Kanu today. Nothing more, nothing less. Most of you hate this man and the Kanu because he insulted you. He insulted you because you're stupid. When you do what you're supposed to do, you shouldn't be insulted. And for you that thought our leader was set up, let's watch this video again before I round up this. Watch this video with common sense, please. Don't watch this video with just opening your eyes and listen. Reason what he's saying. Some of the words he used there is parable. He will not just go open and say this. Listen very well. I already posted this video before here, but maybe some of you do not understand. Watch this again. Watch. Now, that is the message of our leader before he was abducted. That was his last message to the people of Biafra and also to people of Africa, because freedom for Biafra is freedom for the entire African nation. And that's what we are fighting. That's what we're working for. So, why I played that video for the very last time is in case you didn't join me earlier, so you can follow that. So, also to remind you that when our leader says that the time, maybe you don't understand most of the words, has come to redeem the black race and to redeem Africa. Most obviously because they portrayed the picture of Jesus Christ in as a white. So when you see Kanu, you will not understand his mission. You will not understand that the Messiah has come again. That is the reason. And he told you, the last statement he made to us is this, that the time has come to redeem Biafra and to redeem the entire black race. And the time has come when wherever a black man you are, you can be proud and say that I'm an African. He said the time has come. He said this on the 21st day of May. In case you don't understand this or you're just joining, that video was made. It was an event. He said this on the 21st day of May 2021, and he was abducted barely 1 month after that. Okay, so this is a proof to most of the ignorant students of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to understand that Mazi was not in Nigeria by accident. No, not at all. He went there for two reasons. It was a well-planned return and also a divinely mandated return, because that is the only way that he can set the people of Biafra and black race free in general. And if you continue to abide to his movement, only thing he asks is to remain resolute and determined, nothing more. And now you have lost your resoluteness, you have lost your determination, because you are more interested than to why was our leader even abducted? Because you fool listen to Kanu, but you don't get what he was saying. You are watching, many of you pastors also see him because he insults some of them. They don't understand Jesus insulted people. They don't understand, because this is like a book. Bible is like a book. I'm sorry. It's not like I'm insulting your religion, because I also believe. But Bible is like a book, and you know pretty well, like, let's assume I want to write a book about you. I am not going to write everything. It's something you compose. You bring things about the person, bring this and bring that, you put it together. That is how to write a book. It's not like, maybe, for example, I don't know what I'm going to use as an example. You just use everything about a person. No, it doesn't work. And that is why some of you thought that Jesus never insulted. And that's why some of you are asking us, why do we call Mazi Nnamdi Kanu a Messiah? Yes, he is. If you are waiting for Jesus Christ, and you see that Messiah down there lavishing in DSS dungeon, and all you can do is to continue to do rubbish, to autopilot, instead of to be resolute and determined like he asked you. I want to tell you that you have yourself to blame. Why I'm saying this, I don't really care about your follower, your viewership. I'm saying this so that when the time comes, you will have yourself to blame. So that when the time comes, you will not say, I never knew. So that when the time comes, you will not say, nobody ever told us. We are here to remind you. Kanu is on a divine mandate, and nobody can stop him except we. Just like what happened to Jesus Christ. Exactly the same story we're in. So it's all up to you to retract your steps, come back, and we do the needful. There is only two ways that we can release our leader. Very simple. Very simple. Two ways only. Forget about the idiots telling you that these people are not to be trusted. If they are to be trusted, may they organize protests for us where they are living. Organize protests. You say you're a political aspirant, right? You're political this. Organize protests. Use that your prominency to organize protests. That is how it goes. But you never did one. But you continue to accuse those that do things, that they never do it right. Even Aloy Ejimako, you once accused him of compromised. You all forgot. You all autopiloters, I will try to be During these days, I'll be getting this man's previous claims to you. This Eberima in Finland, I'll be getting his previous claims to you to resensitize some of you. You forgot that this man once said that Aloy Ejimako has taken money from Nigeria government, that is no longer proceeding properly with the case of our leader. Until Aloy Ejimako won case that vindicated us, because that case we won in Abia State did a huge favor for us. Not about the 1 billion. We know 1 billion, one person is worth more than that. Talk more of 28 people that were killed in our leader's home. But we have been used to killings and killings and killings. And who had even in the past recognized, like I used to say, that 1960 to 1970 wasn't a war. And as I continue suggesting to Biafrans to stop calling it a war, even if the whole international media refers to it as a civil war, and the whole mainstream gutter media of Nigeria also refers to it as a civil war, call it a genocide, not a war, because war is different from genocide. And what happened to wars between that time was never war, but a genocide. War is when war simply means military confrontation with other military. Okay? You fight war in your borders. You don't fight war against civilians. When you, even in war conflict, where let's assume Nigeria and Cameroon are fighting today, do you know by international, according to international law, that Nigerian army or Cameroon army don't have a right to shoot even a single shot at civilian? Do you know that? Most of you don't know. So that's why you still refer to that 1966 as war, but it was never war. It was genocide. Okay? So, if the people of the world call it war, let us call it genocide. This is very important for us. And if you continue at this time abating the same genocide to happen against our people by donating to an idiot, a fraudster, because he called the name of Mazi Kanu, because he presented to you the videos of Boko Haram, what they say, or because he informed you with adequate information, then just know one thing, that you have yourself to blame. Don't say nobody told you. I've told you several times, and I continue to tell you. Don't say nobody told you. Okay? And when our leader comes out, I assure you something. My prayer, though I know on the 16th, it's probable he's released. I don't believe that. I'm skeptic of it. But I still believe everything is possible. But at the same time, my prayer is that our leader will be released today, so that most of you who will come to this my platform to insult me because I do not buy your autopilotism and nonsense will still not come back. I know how you used to do, because you can't come and say sorry. No problem for me. But I'll be happy that our leader comes out and I am vindicated, because I'm sure that before he left, he laid plan. Before he left, he knew this will come. He knew everything was coming. He studied Biafran war for 18 good years. And that's why he can never fail. He told it to us, and he continued to prove it to us day in, day out. Now, all we need is that resoluteness to free him and to free Biafra. And this is where I got this to the end. And as always, I remain your brother Tony Onaga, and may the peace of the Lord be with you. This is all we have to say. God bless you all. God bless Biafrans. And may the Lord expose those that are working with the name of Biafra, but in the actual sense, they are working contrarily. May the Lord expose them, and may the spirit of Biafra destroy all of them in the name of the Almighty God, Chukwokika Biama in heaven. He said, peace be to you all.